Well, good morning, everyone. This is Two Psychic Moms here. I'm Julie Hawkins, the Biz Psychic, and I'm with Tammy Langowski of Tammy's Intuitive Services. And we are so happy that you tune in for us. We maybe one day we'll have more than a following of, maybe we'll have a big following one day. That's what I'll say.
We hope so.
I'm
So
putting it
pass
out there.
on.
I'm putting it out there.
Pass us on.
It doesn't have to be gazillions, just, bigger.
Yeah. Everybody wants.
Maybe a few 100,000 would be nice.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
What do you want to say, Tammy, about how we came together or what we do here?
Yeah, just, well, I think you probably heard the story, right? Julie and I are both intuitives. We work a lot similarly. Obviously, we both have our own little things as well. As far as how you can find us, we're both open for reading sessions, and you can contact me at tammysintuitive.com. And I have, besides our lovely Two Psychic Moms, I have another channel of YouTube, Tammy's Channel Chats, if you want to check that out as well. And I do post channeled messages on my social media, Tammy's Intuitive Services on Facebook and Instagram. And I did want to say, before Julie introduced herself, happy Halloween week, which is why you see the pumpkins behind me. I've got my little ghost shirt on. This was actually from the Queen Mary.
I can see that. It looks great.
It's kind of fun. So I love Halloween. Anyhow, okay, Julie, how can they find you?
I fell down on the whole dressing up for Halloween thing. I think about it and then I get distracted by other things.
It was last minute for me, so no worries. Really, it was.
Anyway, to add this in, also today is Tuesday, October 26, 2021. I'm Julie Hawkins. I can be found at juliehawkins.com or bizpsychic.com. And, you can find me on social media too, but I got to tell you, I'm kind of pulling away until they fix that. And I mean by legislation and regulation, but so anyway, on YouTube as I think it's the Biz Psychic and Two Psychic Moms with Tammy. So I channel independently as well. Okay, and I have one sitting in the queue that I have to get to my VA to have her edit and put up. Oh, I'm so behind. All right. So we do have some questions today, and there is I don't want to say theme, but there was a question that we're going to get to from, I don't know if there was a name. Oh, anonymous. We'll call her Anne for short. Oh my gosh.
She'll know who she is. We'll
call her.
Address the question because she had a really good one. So yeah.
And it will be a topic that we'll talk about and that will move into another topic as well that kind of are interrelated. So it was a great question to ask, and something else came up around something similar too. So Rudy, don't ever run out of questions. I don't know what we'll do. All right. Do you want to read it?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so Rudy's question, thank you again, Rudy, is about cryptids, which kind of encompass all of the questionable, the controversial almost, right? Like Loch Ness Monster. What are some of the other ones he's got
here? We had to look it up, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know what that word was. So I learned a new word today, that cryptids, which is great that they have a word that just encompasses all of those things. Anyway, so his question was, is the Loch Ness Monster a real animal? If so, why can't anyone find them, or is it another figment of our imagination? How about the Mothman of West Virginia, or this one I wasn't sure how to pronounce it, Chupacabra in Mexico, or the Native American skinwalker? I've heard of that one. Are any of these cryptids real? There are scientists that look for them, but no luck yet finding any solid proof. So, cool question, as usual. And I will say, I did take a trip out to the Loch Ness, and I was looking for Nessie out there. This was several years back on a trip we took, and it was really cool to be out there. They have a really neat whole exhibit there to look at, if they still do have that. I didn't get any luck, and I know I tuned in, if I'm not mistaken, it was so many years ago, I really couldn't tell you what I got, but we will be channeling on that anyway, right, Julie? We're going to open up to the question. But I don't, so really, why am I even mentioning that? Because I don't remember what was said. But there could be an energy about Loch Ness. And you do wonder, there are some people that really claim to see these things. And then we wonder, okay, maybe that's on a whole different like dimension that they go into, even that they do see. I don't know, we can find out. Maybe not. But anyway. So did you want to start out? I don't care either way. Did you have something that
We're going to say that it's not dissimilar to the topic that we had before and the explanation that we gave you before, which is that the human imagination is extremely powerful. And there are times that people see things and they're like, well, I swear I saw that. And not sure really what you saw. We like the imagination that comes with humanity. We like that you are willing to make it into something supernatural or otherworldly. We're not saying it's not possible. We're saying we do like that science over the years. We'd like you to give a little bit more credence to science. There are people who have spent their lifetimes looking for these things. And yeah, we're just going to say, we don't want to burst anybody's bubble. But I mean, the short answer is we're going to say they don't exist as you have been led to believe they exist, or that you have been described or have been described for you. We think there are things out there that don't fall into categories of animals that we've necessarily seen and categorized, that may just exist. And but they're not necessarily Loch Ness monster, the huge dinosaur from, that survived when all others didn't survive. We like that you have science. We want you to trust science most of the time. And there is no science to back up any of these. Does that mean there haven't been sightings? No, there have been lots of sightings, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're what you think they are. That's what we'll say about
Okay.
that.
All right, great. Thank you, Julie. And yeah, so I'm gonna open up to that question. So I'll start with, again, for the Loch Ness monster, we'll start with that. Maybe that will just help me tune in more to that. Is the Loch Ness monster real? I'm just putting that to our guides. They said it's not real in the sense that That's the first thing they're starting out with. So kind of what Julie's saying a little bit right here. So it feels like there are many people who claim to have seen a large monster, a large sea creature. I'm getting my bubble burst because because they really are saying that much of this has been the figment of the imagination, that it is not truly an actual large animal beneath the sea that has existed for eons, that never passes. There really are no such things as those creatures now. Once upon a time, yes, many lived. But we're talking, I don't know if they're talking like ice ages and all that. I don't know enough about that to quote anything on that or say anything on that exactly, but you get my point. Many years ago. But we don't feel that the Loch Ness monster is real. We feel there are people who claim to see things because they give me the word delusional, but they don't necessarily mean it in a right. Negative context. You know what I mean? They mean,
you want to say one too many.
I was going there. That's funny you would say that. I was getting that some, it was showing me then like alcohol, or they go into that other dimension that things like substances can make you go into.
Yes.
And so then they see things, or they claim to see things, but we really don't believe there is anything there. Okay. So for the Loch Ness, now, honestly, I loved standing there and being absorbed in all of that because I have a big
Why
imagination.
not?
So
Why not? Right?
exactly right. So I mean, even hearing this, I'm like, oh, but I probably got that information when I was there too, that they didn't really feel there was, if I can remember correctly. Although people, they're saying again to remember, humans will, their beliefs are whatever they believe in. So that is their reality. So we can also say, who are we to say that it does not exist? For some, it does.
Absolutely, for some it does.
Yeah. So they said, we can't take that away from you. We won't take that away from you. But at the same time, they're looking at practically, logistically, we'll say scientifically, it doesn't feel like there is anything there. Okay. Let's just go to this other one here about Mothman of West Virginia. I don't know much about him, but I've heard of it. I've heard of Mothman. Wasn't there a movie on Mothman? There probably was. Sci-fi movie or something. And Mothman of Virginia. They said same. For me, that's what I'm getting.
Yep.
And
me too. Exactly. Those.
Okay, I was going to go through, and then I'll see what you say to the rest of them too. That chupacabra in Mexico. I don't even know what that one is.
I don't either.
Or the native skinwalker. All the same.
Yeah.
Now they're showing me the native skinwalker. Also, people definitely through things they took.
Right. Ceremonial.
Yes, enhancers.
Exactly. Well, herbs and ceremonial herbs to bring
right, to bring you to that other thing where you might see some other things that, again, they're showing me there are many things that exist on different dimensions. So are people truly wrong? Not necessarily. It's just if we're looking at the earth plane existence, but some people will tap into those other dimensions and create from there. So I would imagine when we cross over and we all transition, we'll be able to see Mothman or Loch Ness Monster, or because they were here for a reason. They're a figment of somebody's imagination or dimension.
So I want to add something to this because this might give another explanation as well. Was there more to that?
Oh, no, I'm good.
Okay. I met with my friend Marco, and he always asks these amazingly great cosmic, other dimensions, supernatural types of questions too. And he's like, do you believe that there are entities that can, attach and that are malevolent and I'm like, absolutely. Have I experienced them? No, thank you very much. That's not my role in this lifetime. I know people who do that and deal with those entities. That is not my work in this lifetime. I do know they do exist. There are lots of things that exist in dimensions that we are beyond our human eyes, right? And so, he asked me, he's like, oh, I thought you had some kind of an experience. And I said, here's the experience I had. When I had a couple, but none of them directly interacting with a malevolent or any kind of poltergeist, any kind of negative spirit, right? It was more just interpreting and observing the energy, which is what I do. And so when I was learning how to do sound healing with my tuning forks, our teacher asked me and my then partner Chris to come in. She felt that there was something going on with her that she couldn't tap into, didn't know what it was, and she laid down on the table and wanted us to really do work on her and to see what we thought. And I tuned in, and honest to God, if anybody's a fan, has watched, of course now it goes right out of my head. The dragons and the hobbits and the that movie with Gandalf, okay, and how Gandalf, for the life of me, why it just went out of my head, I don't know. But there's a scene I think it's the first, maybe it's the end of the first one, in the beginning of this, it's the end of the first one where he is pulled down by this dragon, horrifyingly terrifying entity, right? That is just like mixture of dragon, devil, all these negative things that we have personified, right? And so as I looked at her and her body, I'm like, okay, so you know that thing in The Hobbit, where, yeah, and I relayed that whole scenario and I said, that's the energy I'm seeing. And then I think we began to clear it and work with it to get rid of it. But it scared the crap out of me, to be honest with you, because I was not necessarily, channeling or giving readings at that time. I was just working with energy in that way. Well, a variety of ways, whatever. So are there things like that that exist? And I wonder, are those the things that people see in their dream state, in their opening up to their third eye, and they see that and then they equate it with a location or something? Mm-hmm. See, that's another explanation for what some people have seen. Okay. So we wanted to give you that because it's not that these things don't exist in some altered state or
Right.
dimension,
Right.
but not as myth has given them to us. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we the humans are really good at making the myths big. That part we do very well. Yeah. So yeah,
driving me nuts that I can't remember these favorite movies that
they'll
come to me.
I mean, when you said The Hobbit, wasn't that I never watched those particular
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, that's it. Yep. I heard of it. I never did watch it, but yeah.
Oh my God. Yes, many.
There was many followers of the Lord of the Rings for sure. Yeah.
So anybody who's watched that will know that entity that I'm talking about, where he transforms from Gandalf the Grey to Gandalf the White. But this horrible, anyway, it's a horrible mythic creature that he fights. So those kinds of things, why not? But up here and then related in an energetic dimension, coming from an energetic dimension, and then we plant them in the human existence. Ooh, that was good. Okay. All right. Yeah, so that was that. Anything else we want to talk about those things, or we
no, I think that's good. And I think that's another great question. So thank you, Rudy, because a lot of people do wonder about that. And then everybody will take away, of course, what feels comfortable for them from what we get versus, if you're a believer and, then go for it.
Exactly.
Because I get that. I love the ideas of those sorts of things too. So, but yeah, that was a good one. Okay, so do you want to go to the other one that I've gotten from one of my clients who, and again, thank you. I'm not using your name because I don't think
call her Anne. Anonymous.
So,
okay.
Anne for Anonymous. Name's not really Anne, but Anne for Anonymous. So it was a great topic and one that many people, understand or run across. So basically the topic is about narcissism and relationships with narcissists. How does one manage a relationship with a narcissist? How is a narcissist related to finding our way back to a connected sense of being part of a whole? I take that last part of maybe how does it serve us in some ways to be with a narcissist, unless I'm reading that wrong, but that's kind of that last part. But basically, so narcissism, relationships, about narcissism, how does one manage to be in a relationship with a narcissist, which that's pretty challenging in a nutshell, right? I think all of us would agree with that. And then, and then how can it be related to kind of finding your way back to a connected source after dealing maybe with something like that? So I will take a moment to open up, but I'm gonna let Julie start with that one. Julie, okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, good. Go for it.
So we want to start out with the big picture of saying that every relationship that you're drawn to, every person that enters your life that has an impact in some form or fashion, or an interaction of some form or fashion, is meant for you to be in relationship with in some form or fashion so that you can evolve and grow. That's a lesson that you'll see usually repeated out in patterns over your lifetime in varying degrees with varying relationships. Could be friends, could be lovers, could be bosses, could be just all siblings, right? Or family. And so you'll see it repeated out. I'm not licensed as a mental health professional, so I'm not going to go in that direction. What we will say is that we say, look at it and say, what am I here in this relationship for? And then I say, this is me, go to my book and say, this is all about boundaries, all about boundaries.
Yeah.
Now, with narcissists, you may never be able to have the kind of relationship you want to have with them because they can't, I don't know if they can't, but they don't have the maybe motivation, desire, capacity, all of the above to expand past what their own self and their own self-interest, right? But that's the lesson for you, because in your life, what you need to do is find yourself as being the most important person in your life. Not in a narcissistic way, but in a way that allows you to feel complete and unconditional love and compassion for yourself. And that's in some ways what they can teach you, because they have it. It just comes to them, right? And so you want to look a little bit at their behavior and say, how do they do that? Not that you want to replicate it, but you want to pick up on certain bits of it so that you can incorporate the appropriate behavior into your own life for yourself while setting boundaries with them. And sometimes that boundary is about, no, I'm not having a relationship with you now. It might be forever, I don't know, but it's now, because I am the most important person and I need to take care of me, because if I don't take care of me, nobody else will. And that is your lesson about being with a narcissist. Now, I also want to say that we throw that term out very loosely. Now, is that because there are just more of them on the planet now? I don't know.
Maybe.
Or they just feel free to express themselves, you know? I mean, it could be all of the above. And so this is about finding some balance for you, and truly about understanding. I mean, there's so much more. I hate to plug, they're plugging it for me. There's so much more here than about saying no. It's about understanding what's most important for you in your life and setting the limit and the structure through boundaries so that you can achieve your most important and best life and be who you are meant to be, which is something I want to go into adjacent to this topic. So I'm sorry, Tammy, I'm going to keep going because it's on a flow.
No, go for it.
Which is, I have a friend who, I'm not going to get into the details, but had a conversation with somebody who's in a group, a marketing group, and he just keeps telling her how wrong her perspective and her product and her services, right? And my guides keep saying, I'm just gonna, I don't know, can I swear on YouTube? I don't know. I'm just fucking gonna say, stop it. Okay? Stop listening to people who think they know about you better than you do about yourself. Your journey is to find out who you are, want to be in this lifetime, and to find the way to achieve that. Period. And to get rid of the things that don't support you in achieving that goal. And so who knows better than you and your guides who support you, come on, about what makes your heart full, what makes your soul fulfilled, what makes your direction where you want to go and head in life the right way and place for you to go. You do. You and your guides trust that, tune into that, and listen to that. And that plays into relationships with narcissists as well. So it really is truly about shutting out the noise that says there's something wrong with you, and listening and saying, well, where do I need to improve? But what is right with me? And what do I need to listen to in here that has my best interest, like my higher self? And keep working with that. I'll take a break for a minute and hand that over to you.
Well, that was great. Thank you, Julie, and your guides. That was really great information. And, we're very much in alignment with that too. I mean, I'm going to open up here again about narcissism.
We were a little passionate about that.
They said it's like somebody who sometimes gets satisfaction from owning something and taking it with them. They're showing me, and I didn't expect to hear this, it's interesting. They're showing me just like keeping it to themselves, like, here. And definitely the idea of being involved with a relationship with a narcissist narcissistic person, I guess is the word I'm looking for. It like Julie was mentioning, it is really giving you opportunity to stand in your power. And they said people are drawn to narcissists and relationships when they themselves feel like they're lacking. They admire a piece of that person. And I know that's what Julie's kind of saying. They're admiring some of that in that person, wishing that they had that. That's where the draw is. They said that's where the draw is. And you can learn a great deal from that. It's a nice balance to have, right? That confidence level, that, seeming somebody that seems to be able to own it and know that they're right and know that this and this can be very appealing to those who are always on a quest to find that. So be aware of just that. If you find yourself ever drawn to people that are what we consider a narcissist, then always take a look at where you're at within yourself with that. Are you feeling a little lack of confidence? Are you feeling like you have no direction? And gosh, it's so nice to just bask in somebody's energy, even if it's negative or toxic even, because it makes me feel like I can have some of that. Now, it's a two-way street, they're saying, of course. The narcissist, who generally will attract people who are very patient with them and maybe even in awe of their nature, are given constant opportunity to see how that works for them. How is it working for them? Is it feeding them in a way that's positive? At some point, my earring just fell off. At some point, that's going to dissolve. They usually do, unless somebody really is in a place of just feeling like, give it to me, the doormat kind of thing. This is what my life is, and I'm just going to keep taking this. I wanted to go back to here a little bit too. How does one manage a relationship with a narcissist? Like I said, just try not to be in a relationship with a narcissist. They said the first sign of that then should be really like, why am I drawn to this person who really is coming off very negative and very into themselves and not very, doesn't know how to compromise and so forth. Stop there, they said. Separate your energy is our suggestion, and take a really good look at that. You do not need to work off somebody's energy or suck in their vibration to feel more powerful. That is a clear sign that you're needing to work on your own good stuff, as Julie was mentioning, self-love, compassion for yourself, the tools that you already have that you're just needing to be reminded of. So don't go down that path, they're saying. The narcissist personality in time will get enough reflection, hopefully, in a lifetime to start to make a change. But as we know, just like anything, they may or may not. They may go through this whole lifetime making excuses for every reason that somebody left or a relationship dissolved because they're not there yet to take a look at themselves and their own growth and learning and all that good stuff that they need to do. They get the clear picture on the other side, as we all do, about our, shortcomings. But then they try better next time if they decide to incarnate again. many will incarnate again, sometimes just for that lesson to see what they can do better. Again, not unlike any of us on a journey of our, spiritual development. So we would say, be very cautious. Do look for those red flags. If you are with somebody, it's one thing to be confident in nature. Hey, great. But when somebody is making that turn where it's constantly about them and, they're inflexible, I guess, then you need to start looking at that and maybe take a look at backing away from it. And so we would say in that question to how's it related to finding your way back to a connected sense of being part of a whole, again, pretty much what I think Julie and I were just touching on is I keep going to the third chakra here a lot, and being in self-empowerment of yourself, so that we're not feeling that we need to be around these kind of people, because what's happening is you're taking some of that which you think is good, but it comes with a whole lot of crap too. And if you're in a relationship like that, then you're accepting all of that, and you're worth more than that. But you have to know that, and you have to be the one to work on it. So, yes.
It is a pattern, and it's an interesting pattern. So thank you for bringing all that up. And we want to add one more part to that, which is it is law of attraction in a different perspective. Very much so that this is, I don't know that people ever talk about this aspect of law of attraction, but it is very much like, we're going to say the key in the door. The door always wants the right key to unlock it. And you're drawn to somebody because they are the door and you are the key. And so you try to open, I don't know why I'm doing this, but it seems to work. And you try to open the door, and they want you to use your key to open the door. You are drawn to each other to learn from each other. And the lesson comes when you can step back out of your own triggered stuff and say, I see what's happening here. I see the positive side. So narcissist, and I don't really like these phrases, but until I find something else, they're living in that shadow, that negative aspect, right? Of overdoing attention to oneself. And you're living in the not enough attention to oneself. And so the idea is to come together, and instead of being like this, is to be able to unlock the door. And then you can be together. So you take and learn a little bit from that narcissist about where can I learn to care for myself more deeply, about in a way that is good for me, but that doesn't hurt others, right? Stand up for myself like the narcissist does. And that's why you're always being brought together. It could be about anything. They seem overly confident because they're really underlying. It's the opposite. They're projecting that. They're very insecure. But that's a whole other conversation that we don't have time for. So take away, look at it, and just step back and just say, what is the positive aspect of that I can take into my life and let go of the negative? The only person that you need to be concerned about is you. You cannot fix them. You can only change you and how you respond, and take away a lesson from somebody who's been brought into your life to show you that it's important to care about you in an appropriate way. I think we're good with that.
Yes, absolutely. Well said.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
T-shirt.
Yeah, we hope that gives you a little bit of clarity on that question, because it's like I said, these are all great questions, and lots of people, feel they have been in a relationship with somebody who's a narcissist. We'll say the word again in that way, and so hopefully that sheds a little light on that. So that's our hope.
And that was my topic for the day, not narcissism, but, looking at the people that come into your life so that you can rise to the occasion and say, I see what you're doing. I get that lesson. Now I need to implement it and change it so that it works for me
Right.
and let go of your rhetoric. I don't need that.
That is the goal. It's true for our lifetime. So yeah, the more that we pay attention, the further ahead we are.
Exactly. Alrighty.
Yeah,
Anything else? Any cat stuff? My catio is almost complete.
that's great.
Oh my gosh. I should next time I'll share the video.
Yeah,
Of
do, because
trying to,
I want to
there's
see
nothing
it.
really out there yet, so I let them out to try to explore, and they're like climbing up the wood, you know.
Love
It's
it.
like, pretty soon, I think we're going to move stuff in, and I'm going to get a little house for them. So the catio is coming along. They're new cat.
That's so exciting. That's really exciting. I can't wait to see it. Yeah,
Yeah, me too.
it'd be awesome. All right, well, is that it for our
I think that's
session episode? I was gonna say session, just saying session episode.
great questions. Really diverse, completely at the opposite ends of the spectrum, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
they
yeah.
were great. We appreciate
Love them.
them.
Keep them coming. Keep them
Keep them
coming.
coming,
Thank you,
for
thank you,
sure.
thank you.
Yeah, we do appreciate it very much. So have a wonderful Halloween for those who just love Halloween. And so we'll see you next week. Okay, take
All
care.
right. And I'm like, what am I doing here? I think I have to stop the recording. All right. We'll see you next time, and we'll hear as we move into fall what happened on Halloween. I'd be surprised if anybody comes to my house, but then again, I'm not really sending out that invitation. I don't think there was anybody on the street last year anyway, so
Yeah, I'll be curious this year too. I'll have candy ready, so we'll see.
oh, I can't have that in my house, but that's another story.
Yeah.
All right. See you all. Thank you so much for tuning in, and just we love those questions. Keep them coming, and we love your support. And
Thank you, everyone.
yeah, they're just
For
saying
watching
so
us.
much love. We have so much love for you.
Mm.
It is the goal. It is the goal of unconditional love, not just from us, but you for yourself.
Yes.
So until next time.
All right. Take care, everyone.
See ya.